There had been, by this board as well, and residents of the community, questions I usually get either from a friend or a resident of the city that I'm on my phone during meetings. I should be paying attention to the public. Well, I mean, when I politely just tell them that I'm keeping track of the time for our speakers, they usually believe me, I think. But it has been brought up before about the use of electronic devices during board meetings, work sessions, and board retreats. I haven't noticed really anyone on their phones tonight, which is has been a very nice a show of respect for our fellow colleagues and for staff. So I know that has been brought forward in the past, and actually I think in our rules of engagement that we've adopted at one of our board retreats that we all agreed that we would have minimal use of electronic devices while we were in meetings. So I know this has been brought up. If folks have, I would prefer not to have my phone at the dais. I prefer when we moved to parliamentarian, I would prefer to have someone keeping the clock down where the clerk sits, so that I could pay more attention to, in case I have to vote, which is rare, but I do need to pay attention to the meeting, and I need to chair the meeting. So this was brought forward by you folks, so conversation's open. Yes, Alderman.
Of course, I'm new at this, but there's been meetings I've been observing, and pulled my phone out to Google acronym or term, or even get on the city's website to look at the statute. So I would hate to see us not be able to use our devices. I've noticed some aldermen may have a computer at the dais or what have you. I don't have that luxury. So I would respectfully ask that we be allowed to. I would certainly respect everybody and our citizens that put us here to do their work, to pay attention to what's going on and not be texting family or friends or checking my personal email. But I have had occasion where I needed to look something up to understand what it was you were talking about.
Of course, now that you're an alderman, you can ask them.
I could.
I mean, I get messages from my wife to sit up straight.
Wake up.
Typically what's happening to me is my daughter is saying, your tie's not tied enough, and so I really don't have a need for it. I mean, I'm okay with it being there or not being there. I mean, I would like to throw mine away most of the time anyway, so.
I do find it to be a distraction, I think,
Right.
just
It
because,
is a distraction.
especially when we have citizens to be heard, I think it is important that we're able to engage with them. It's their opportunity to speak. I think that if there are those questions, I think that we are in that unique position in that we have a wealth of information. And I learned serving with Shelby County School Board, if there's an acronym that I don't know, especially as a new person, to really, no one expects you to know that. And so, so just to be able to say, hey, let's circle back and speak to what that is. So,
well, I'll try to not utilize mine. Maybe we just try to cut back. I mean, I'm okay with us not having them. I'm okay with us having them, but try to be a little more sensitive to what's going on around us.
I've never seen a time during Citizens to be Heard where any of us have been on our phones, which I can't imagine, because I think that would just be abhorrent. I mean, none of us are going to, I would like to think that none of us are going to do that. There are times, I'll admit, I've used it probably more than I should have. Maybe, oh, there's an email, let me just look at that. But so I would agree, if there's a way that we can, for absolute, emergencies or minimal usage, then I would be okay with that, as opposed to maybe restricting it altogether. And I think that would be a gentlewoman's agreement, I guess.
well, and also I think the further thought on cell phone usage is that we are the ones that were elected, and that the input that we receive during a meeting, fixing your tie, standing up straight.
Or they can't hear the microphone. I'll get
Can't
one
hear
of
the
those too. Can't hear the microphone.
That's different than weighing in on policy in the middle of a meeting. So I think that there's no way to police that, frankly, other than, it's not a team sport here. We are individual aldermen making important decisions, so I'd like to see that moving forward.
Let's try to just make it better.
Any
Mayor.
other comments on that?
Mayor, I'd agree with your point about the clock. It is difficult to keep up with the time, and I use my phone for that, and I inevitably forget to hit my start button
Yeah.
when I start speaking. So if we could get a clock where we can all see it, I think that would be very helpful. I would like to continue to have access to the phones without rules and violations. I think we're all adults here. I think we can hold each other accountable, but more importantly, the voters can hold us accountable. And so if there's ever a problem with someone using their phone excessively, when we're discussing issues, I think that we would hear from the citizens on that issue, and really they're the ones that should hold us accountable at the end of the day. I am the youngest alderman. I also have a young family still, and so my wife is at home with our 2-year-old during our meetings, and she has actually required me to keep it on because due to some other things, like I said, that we've been involved in, she still has concerns for her safety. Okay, and so, and with what we do on the board, when I'm at the board meetings, people know that she's at home alone. Okay, and so she is anxious about that somebody is going to come to our house and harm her. And she wants to know that I have my phone, and if she needs me, I will respond. And for me, it's a matter of security. For her, it's a matter of security. And so I couldn't give mine up if I wanted to, frankly. It wouldn't be something that she would allow to happen. So.
Well, I also want to add to that. Recommend your wife call 911 if there's something going on. My daughter called me first when she had problems with someone around the house. So it's amazing how they call your dads or their husbands first before they call the police. I don't know why, but I agree. So,
And each one of
we're good.
us are parents, and so we understand that. I had a child traveling to an airport just a little bit ago, so I did check to make certain that she was safe, so.
It's good
Understand
conversation.
it.
All right.